Hey there, this is John, your lovable GM, and you're listening to Demon Dayz, an actual play podcast where they focus on fiends and the friends who play them. Want to quick give a shout out to our sponsor Arknight, whose props, maps, and minis make our table a delight. They've been with us since the beginning, and we love them oh so much. Also want to give a shout out to KiloWhat, who's done the artwork for our show. Our heroes have never looked so good. We'll put all those links in the show notes. And lastly, I want to thank you, our listeners, for being so patient with us as we continue on our bi-weekly schedule. I promise we'll be back to our regular weekly programming very soon, and we'll keep you up to date in all our socials. Without further ado, let's jump into the game, shall we?
Friends, fiends, when last we spoke, our heroes claimed the fortress of Fallhold for themselves, weeding out the icky elements and uncovering a myriad of other mysteries in the process. There's still some more to uncover, so let's not waste another... What? What is it?
Do you like experimental ale?
Do I like experimental ale? What kind of a question
It's
is
called
that?
flame breath.
Flame breath?
Yeah.
You son of a gun, I'm in. Get me some of this fine ale, and I'll light up your imagination with another exciting tale from these Demon Dayz.
We're good. We're absolutely good. As he walks out the door and goes back to the mess hall, he's going to grab one of the small tables and bring it in.
All right.
Put it in front of the door, just so that we have a little bit of a buffer if something does try to come in.
Invasion of undead plant people or something.
Right? So
Right.
He'll put it right there in the doorway.
You thought Audrey 2 was bad, wait for Audrey 3.
Yeah. Smoke, drink, rations.
All right.
Read books.
Wait to figure out who's watching, who's taking watch.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
I mean, I can stay up first. I'm fine to do that. I'll see if there's any tomes about like devilish contract law, like the legal section.
Sure.
I point off in the corner. Legal section's back there, to your right.
I'll take last watch if anyone doesn't mind.
No, get your Z's in.
Okay. Night.
Yeah, and Fetter, as you look through the legal section, one gives you a real good chuckle. Being as into contracts as you and your family are,
Yeah.
you find a very thick tome called Legalism and Other Bullshit.
Hilarious.
And it is all the sorts of loopholes you could possibly like put into things, and also suggesting that rules and contracts don't need to be followed. Like, it's very wild and out there, but it's funny.
Right.
The person who wrote this took this way too serious, and it's a little bit, it's far-fetched. In the hells, legal rules, codes, those all are binding. There's no bullshit about it. The loopholes are cool. That's fascinating. But this radical idea in the book that because of loopholes, therefore all contracts are invalid is just
Are invalid inherently. What a loon.
right. It's the fantasy version of Dave Barry if he was doing a humorous book on law.
Funny. Yeah, so I'll have some chuckles and a drink and wait and see if anybody jumps out at us.
Cool. And so far, your time passes pretty easily. There's nothing, you don't hear anything. The hold has gotten quiet again since your activity. You haven't heard anything, and every now and then there might be like a little bit of crinkling rock as from above, just natural sounds of a stronghold deep within a mountain. So you can only guess it's just basic seismic things. Nothing like, it's the earthquake you don't feel, right? Like that kind of like, a couple rocks dropped. It must have been some natural earth shifting or whatever. Yeah, but other than that, you don't catch anything else. Not even steps or anything.
Cool.
And then whoever is next, you can relieve them.
I'll wake Sunny up and see if maybe
I mean, I never went to sleep. I was up reading a book.
Taz, you gonna sleep? At some point, you're gonna get exhausted, and that's gonna be bad for somebody.
I mean, I'll fall, like when my eyes need rest, I'll close them, but I'm okay for right now. So if you want to sleep.
All right, but if you miss an Arcana check because you're rolling with disadvantage, he says, in character. No. Nope. Cool. Got it.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, I would have. Oh, John, I would have checked and see if there. I didn't feel my journal tingle, right? I mean, I might just flip it open and see if there was a response I missed in the hubbub. You know, sometimes you turn the ringer off and it turns the vibrate off too.
Oh, right. I know, right? You do have one that pops in from Z. And normally Z will give you a rhyming scheme similar to what you've been doing and playing along.
Right.
This one's a little bit more cryptic in that it doesn't quite follow. You see the letters Z, N, Y, R, S, ATM, comma, gold are the scales that ward off mayhem.
Okay, so I'll wait. I'll let everybody know when we wake up, when all the shifts are done.
Sure. All right. So then, Taslinn, your watch is going on. Sunny does offer, but you do. I'm assuming you shoo her away because she wanted to be helpful, but she doesn't have to be convinced to not take the watch.
I've busted out the Adept Arcanum and am face deep into that.
Yeah, grill.
So for the sake of this, as you're looking through in your time, the first one in this book that comes to your mind is Identify. That one is laid out so thoroughly in its chapter that even if it weren't for your class, you could pick it up. You could figure it out and add it to your repertoire. Then there's another one you come across that would take a little bit longer to figure out, but also not impossible. It's sort of like the Windows 95 for dummies, in that these all seem possible. So this next one you come across is Rary's Telepathic Bond. And then the third one you come across, more complicated still, is Leomund's Tiny Hut.
Hey, that's a good spell.
Yeah, get that hut.
Right, and then the last one that stands out that you could still get would be Drawmidge's Instant Summons.
Ooh, like instant coffee.
Yes. These are the four that stand out to you as the most likely that you could learn within a reasonable amount of time with some reasonable study in order of difficulty.
Okay.
The one that catches your eye the most is in Abjuration Demystified.
Yeah, which that one I'll break out probably at the end of my watch. So like,
Okay.
that'll probably be the book that I fall asleep in.
All right.
Learning through osmosis.
Perfect. It is able to traverse up the drool on the pages as you sleep. The back third of the book details banishment.
Yes.
And yeah. And then you have the vampire one and vampirism, but given your study, you probably wouldn't have enough time to check that one out just yet.
No.
So maybe another night, because the two books I mentioned take up just the whole time of your watch. And yeah, despite the books, nothing else. You hear nothing else out there. It's super quiet, super still. It's a little bit unnerving for you who've been traveling out in the open. This feels to you like a coffin, even though it's a library. You're underground, but it just feels confining, even in its space.
Yeah, this library is probably the one space that I feel the least jittery in, but it's definitely not an area I like to be in. Too much gray.
Right. And then, yeah, your watch comes to an end, leaving one more watch.
I'll wake up both Yusuf and Sunny. Kind of give Sunny the nudge first and be like a little bit of a wink, and then go over and wake up Yusuf.
Her waking was sudden when you got her, so like she's trying to rub the sleep out of her eyes and process what you were saying. Like it's taking her a moment to get the nudge, but she's slowly getting up. And
Morning.
Okay. Guess we got the last watch then.
Yusuf will start getting his spells for the day.
Okay, cool. And like as your time passes too, just to get out of the way, you're hearing nothing out there. This is probably the least eventful any night has been.
Great.
Super quiet, super still out there beyond the door that you've tabled up. Where do you have your beads on you, your prayer beads?
Mine?
Yeah.
They're probably... Well, no, they're on my neck.
They're on her neck? Okay, Sunny does notice them, and she comes up to you and does point to them like, those are very nice looking. What are those?
Oh, it's they're prayer beads. They have it basically gives me a couple extra spells during the day. I found them when and he kind of points to the sword.
What kind of stuff can you achieve with those? Like, is there like a whatever happens random, or is it like specific?
No, they're specific. Each one has their own thing. These two are the same, and he points to two of the beads. These can cure. This one is particularly potent. It summons an ally. And then these two cast some basic spells. This one I can use to bless something, and this one helps me in combat. It's a spell called Branding Smite.
Oh, okay. And she kind of gets closer just to look at them, and very interested in those. Like, those are nice. I quite like them. Have they served you well?
So far.
Cool. And Yusuf, you can roll insight if you want.
Oh yeah, 20.
There is an element of, through this conversation, she has tried to get closer to look at them, not necessarily because of the beads, but for you. And she's doing a decent job. Like, the contested roll was fairly close, but you're sensing the more ulterior motive.
He kind of smiles for a second. He's like, Sonny,
Yes?
I have to finish praying.
Oh, okay. Well then, can I join you in prayer?
Of course.
Okay. And she joins you in prayer as you do your ritual, and she kind of follows your lead on that, because being a druid in the wild, it's more like, I'm out in the open, hello.
Right.
A little less refined, a little less organized. So she gets close to you.
God. He roll percentiles to see how horny he was getting, just by not getting some for a while. Yeah, no, he's way off.
All those Varosh Day meditation techniques.
Mm-hmm. And he finished his praying and collecting his spells, and then he gets up and he's going to start looking over the books as well while he's on watch.
Gotcha. And Sunny's still half doing hers and eyeing you and paying attention. And as far as the books go, you don't see too much different than what has already been explained or pointed out. There's maybe one little section of like 2 books on the relationship of paladins and their deities. And you get that the stuff you already grabbed from like the Forge would probably be the most helpful to what you're doing. But here is a lot more arcana and things like that.
Are there any books on the Elven language?
Yeah. There's not so much a dictionary, but more of a compendium of the evolution of some of the Elvish language.
Okay.
Just the different kind of nuances in it. Maybe a little bit technical, a little bit dry, a little bit harder to pick up completely, but like it's even down to some of the script and some of the natural flourishes of the Eladrin versus the elves on the material plane. One that you've never heard of before, they mentioned Shadar Kai, and theirs is a little bit rougher of a script. And there's also elements of Drow that they talk about. And for as different as all these are, they're almost unified. It strikes you as beautiful.
He's going to take that book so that he can start learning Elven.
Okay.
Oh boy. Is Taslinn gonna teach Yusuf Elven down the line?
I mean, he's gonna ask for help, yeah. But he's taking that just because he doesn't know another language. He wants to, but also with the plans that he found, the schematics, like he wants to start looking at that and maybe start trying blacksmithing along with glass blowing when he has a chance.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you just grab your book. You can hear Sunny still doing her prayers. This time she's a lot more into it, and you hear her slipping a little bit between Orcish and Dwarvish, and then Common, and then and if there's nothing else, the watch ends pretty smoothly.
Okay.
Well, when we are all awake and up and having our breakfasts, whatever rations or whatever. Man, I wish I had fire for coffee. Oh well, man. So it seems like my mom in Yarville, I don't know. I'll like write out the note in common and kind of show them what it looks like. So that's what the YZNYR, I think that's them, R, SATM. So stuck at the mountain, stalled at the moment. Like, I'm not sure exactly what that stands for. Gold are the scales that ward off mayhem was the next bit of things. So,
talking about a dragon, or they just need money, or what do you think that is?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're at the other tower, right? That's where they headed. They headed to the western tower.
At least they went out west toward Kaisaris to determine something with Y. Yeah.
Okay. Is there mayhem? Is there anything about gold or scales that reminds me of that whole kind of dichotomy between Kaisaris and because there's like a good city surrounded by a bunch of tyrants, right, John? That's how that all works out in the desert.
Yeah, it's like a city on a hill beset by Vengmar. If you want to do a history check, I can kind of...
I'll do a history check. Not my best, but I'll try it. Yeah, that's a 7.
7. I mean, there are rumors that circulate that dragons may still exist in a different form than expected. Like, there might be silver ones out there in the wild. There might be gold ones. Hearsay, rumor.
All right. Well, yeah, just something to think over. I also get out the old Usurper's Fall map that we got. And point to folks now that we're in Frosthold or Fallhold, and just say, all right, so it's a south to the water, and there is a south exit out of here, and then there's east, which if that vine is crumbled, to Titanfall, which is where I think we want to head, and then to the east, there is this eastern fall, missing, claimed, impassable, and that's where the rockfall is. So I feel like it's a very simple map, but I think we kind of know what to expect. What do we want to do next? Do we want to hit the towers real quick and then check the south before we head to Titanfall? Do we want to get to Titanfall? How do we all feel?
I mean, I feel like going ahead and clearing this place out, making sure there's nothing behind us if we move forward, is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So, clockwise then? I mean, we're already on this quadrant anyway.
Sure.
Go to the northeastern tower first.
Sounds good. Gets up, moves the table out of the way.
Yeah, and I'll start creeping north up that long hallway, past the detention area, and kind of slowly make my way up the steps, I suppose, to the next level.
Now, as you're going up, you don't hear anything up there? You don't really notice anything?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going up, just walking up, or are you stealthing up there?
I'm going to stealth up.
Okay.
Yep. And that is 18.
Yeah, if anyone were up there, you wouldn't be noticed. But you get up there and you don't see anybody. You finally do reach the parapet up there. Mm-hmm. And you can, with a little bit of tipsy-toesies, you could look over and see out beyond.
And is there a door? So at the top on the landing, there's just, does it open out into open air at the top of the stairs? Or like, how does the inside to outside transition happen?
As you reach past the stairs, there's an archway, like a doorway as you get to the top and pass through. Now you are outside, effectively.
Okay.
And then immediately in front of you is a door in good condition.
Okay. Yusuf, do you want to just walk the parapet real quick and I'll check this door and head inside and see what's going on?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just check for traps real quick. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20? No traps. The door opens pretty easily. If anything,
okay,
it starts to unhinge from one of the hinges is broken, detached from the stone, and it's a little bit more, as you open, it's a little bit more wobbly, but a functional door, but no traps.
All right. Yusuf, did you take a look on the parapet?
Yeah, I went down to the ballista. Was it in working order, John, or is it pretty effed?
You would think it would be effed, but it's actually in pretty good condition, not usable in its current state. But with enough repairs, you could get it back to functionality.
Gotcha.
This one, particularly this one on the north east side, there's a few parts where you're immediately like, that wouldn't handle the tension of a giant bolt.
Got it.
And it would backfire or shatter and make it worse. So if you use it, you'll break it, but you could fix it with some time.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. Well, I will go ahead and just kind of slowly walk into the circular tower room and see what's going on there.
Okay, yeah, you walk in.
Taz, you coming?
While they're searching, I'm scrying.
Oh, okay. Then I'll get to you in a moment.
Yeah.
So, Fetter, inside, you notice that it's a very junked and trashed room, like a living quarters, a more elaborate set of living quarters. Like you see a big giant canopy bed that's shattered and turned over.
Right.
A few different wardrobes. You get the sense, looking it over, and from what you know of lavish rooms, this was where important people in this place could live.
Yeah.
You do see another statue towards the back end across from you. The head is missing, though, and it is lying on the ground, and its head seemingly inside a mirror. One of those, like, tall, person-sized mirrors that you could, like, check out your outfit. But the weirdness thing is, like, his head is in it, or gone, or, like, all you see from the mirror on the ground out is just his torso, arms, and legs.
Okay. But the head crossed, the neck hole is flush against the plane of the mirror.
Right.
Okay.
And there doesn't seem to be any signs of scratching or cracking. Which is
Oh,
weird.
I know what happened there, but I'm not there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'll kind of say, executive bedroom. We should get Taz up here to look at that mirror. And I'll just, while we kind of wait for that, I'll just toss the rest of the room and see if there's anything else. It looks pretty well junked, but anything else hidden? I'm staying well clear of the mirror.
Right.
But everything else in the room, I'll do a quick search about for. 17.
Yeah, your assessment's pretty spot on. Everything's mostly junked, but a lot of stuff is just junk because it's broken. It's not like stripped or anything. It's just whoever lived there and lived there well.
Yeah.
As you go around, though, the big canopy bed, and it's shattered, like it's on its side, which is weird to you. So you go around the other side of it, and you happen to notice a trapdoor with a rusted lock on it. A good old-fashioned padlock that's been rusted with time, and a trap door.
Fantastic. Well, I'll, Yusuf, if you want to grab Taz, and I'll pick this lock, and I'll point to the trapdoor.
Sure.
And then as Yusuf, you head down that way. Taslinn, let's get to you.
Daddy Dearest has a -15, and Little Thing has a +5.
So you start your scrying through the crystal ball, and after a moment, the vision forms like it usually does. That sensor finds its mark, Cheshire, your dad, and you see him in a moderately well off in a room. He's kind of standing at the window. He's also not wearing anything but his starry robe and letting his cheap smoke go to waste.
How so him?
Yeah, getting out of bed behind him and searching for her clothes is a halfling woman you don't recognize at all.
A halfling.
Seems like he just had a one-night stand. Just judging from the clues, the body language.
Also, so him. Probably paid her.
Through your sensor, you can't see if there's any money lying around or in, like she's not grabbing a coin purse or anything, so you don't necessarily know, but you probably wouldn't be too far off the mark, judging from what you know of Cheshire. But she seems happy. She seems fine.
You said she was a halfling?
Yeah, and she leaves without so much as a farewell or a bye, and Cheshire doesn't even look back. But he does look down at his lonely smoke and flick it out the window. He seems contemplative, and that's where your vision for him ends.
Freaking nothing's changed.
And then you're going for Little Thing as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Might I say that's so very, like, almost LA Noire with the inn and the robe and the smoke and... Okay, continue.
Yeah, with a weird starry robe that's magical and fantasy. So odd, but fitting. The vision swirls and swishes and changes over to Little Thing. Bit of a shocking tableau for you. You notice a very bloodied Little Thing running circles around exasperated servants. The image doesn't make much sense, and in some ways, yeah, very alarming. Is that blood his? Well, after a few laps around what can only be a tub, no. And you notice after a few laps that the servants are also carrying sponges, and they're shrieking and he's laughing. Like, so, okay, you can breathe a little easier, but then what the hell's going on? You also see, as he does laps around, because this sensor is following him specifically, and you see Fee dancing in the origin of this blood, this puddle, dancing around a body with a sword jabbed through its head, a masked figure dressed in all black with a sword in their head, and Fee is dancing around him or her, and there's also a servant there trying to get her to stay still, to wash the blood off of her as well. So there's some reveling in violence that happened, and that's where the vision ends for you.
Concerning. Very concerning.
Hey, Taslinn. There's a guy with a head in a mirror. Oh, come take a look.
Sonny's like, wow. Fetter, as Yusuf's down retrieving them, you get like a ping or an intuition that something's in your book.
Okay.
Your journal. So you check it again. You see a note from F to I. Lovely, dearest, what the fuck did you put in my lap? Let's have a chat, eh?
Okay.
And almost as if, like, not even a minute. Apparently people are watching their phones. You see a note from I to you. I to F. Paters taters, I think we might have a hot potato on our hands. Good thing I entrusted the baby with the princess. By that I mean fucking hells. Mm-hmm. And that is the end of your correspondence for now. But clearly something must have gone down in the evening.
Sure. I'm gonna pop this lock real quick. I rolled a 22 on the.
Oh yeah.
And I'll slowly. And I'll just check the trapdoor for traps. Sorry about all these checks, guys, but it's some fucking rogue shit.
Hey, it's part of being a rogue.
22.
22? Yeah, no traps. There is a ladder that descends down. So.
Oh, it's like a. Okay.
Taslinn.
You already got my attention.
I'll just wait for.
I didn't know if you heard me. There's a guy with a head in a mirror, like not like pushed through it. Like,
yeah, and then she sighed.
I didn't know if you heard me. All right, I'm going.
Yeah, and Fetter, you know that there's a ladder, a basic metal ladder,
Right.
That just descends down. But you don't see a bottom necessarily from where your vantage is.
Right.
The trapdoor itself is it's a little bit of a snug fit for Yusuf.
Right.
And a little bit more roomy for you.
Okay. I'll light a tinder twig and drop it down the ladder hole and see how far it goes.
It doesn't go too far down. Maybe 30.
Well, Taslinn will sigh and put all her stuff in the bag of holding, and we'll be like, all right, let's go see this guy about a missing head and a mirror. A day in my life these days. Yep.
Nice. Yeah. You make it into this really nice, roomy room. Could have once been a very regal thing.
So,
and yeah.
Head in the mirror, haven't really fucked with it yet. Seems weirdly magical to me. Also, ladder downstairs. So I'm tempted to go down while you guys look at the head, but let me know.
As I'm walking over to the mirror, I just kind of over towards Fetter nonchalantly. Something might have happened with Fee, so maybe we should talk about that later.
Yeah, it seems like it did. I was going to ask, so you checked in on little guy?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we should chat.
Absolutely.
So I'll let Taz look at the mirror first before I go downstairs.
Yeah, Taz, you get to the mirror and see that, the stone body is flush up against the mirror, missing the head, so it's like the neck hole is up there. But there's no indentation in the mirror, no cracks in the mirror. If you didn't know any better, it looked like the head was in the mirror. But it's a mirror.
Is there a reflection of the head in the mirror?
No.
Like the head should be in the mirror, but it's not. It's just... And then, of course, you go to the other side and there's no head.
Right, well, and also, like, the way it's lying against the mirror, you would think there would be some shattered or glass remnants on the ground. And out of this whole room, that mirror is the only thing that is in the best condition.
Looks like a teleportation gone wrong. I'll do an Arcana.
Okay.
It's a nat 20, so 25.
Nice. For teleportation things, the normal method is the teleportation circle and the teleportation spell. But, people like to experiment, right? And so sometimes
Unless we're dealing with dimensions.
Right. But so there's always a kind of a what if. Like, well, if you could teleport using a circle, what could you teleport using a thing like a doorway? It's a little bit more chaotic from what you've read. But imbuing something that you walk through like a doorway versus stand on like a circle, there's more of an element of chaos and specificity required. So you could very well infer that you're going to find that head on the other side of whatever that is, but who knows where that is. It's hard to tell, like is the mirror itself the doorway, like, that you push through? That's the only variable here. Mm-hmm. Or is it like you push it open? Or did you put your hands through all of the matrix and you get the silver goo on you? So the nature of like the how isn't quite apparent, but yeah, this is very much a teleportation doorway with a limited range of teleportation.
I'll kind of like circle it, be like, yep, looks like they were attempting to use this to escape somehow. Maybe a teleportation doorway in a sense. Not a ring though. I'll kind of lightly with one finger or like a few fingers just kind of gently touch the surface of the mirror, see if it holds.
Okay. As you reach out and put your fingers to touch it lightly, they go through. You don't feel anything. You don't feel a surface. It leads somewhere.
Yep. This definitely goes somewhere.
Okay. Interesting. Obviously, sticking your head in might not be the best idea. What if we give our friend a shove? Do you think he'd go the whole way? I mean, does the statue, is it fused to the floor? Or is it still just like, what happened where the bottom of the foot met the stone of the floor when this person was petrified?
Oh, it's not fused to the floor or anything. It's separate. So you sense that you could move it if you wanted to. It'd just be...
Heavy?
Yeah.
I think maybe we should try and pull it out and see if it's still attached. The head, that is.
Well, if we want to see what's on the other side of that, I can, can I kind of pass my hand over my eyes, do the eye thing?
Yeah, send the bird. I'm all for it. Send it. That sounds great. I'm team send the bird. I'll walk over and let her put her hand on my shoulder.
Okay.
Do we want to? Not a terrible idea though, Yusuf. Do we want to tug our friend out of here? See what happens.
Yeah,
I think maybe do that after, just in case he's what's holding the doorway open.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes. Love it. Bird away.
I'll kind of speak, do the little hand in my mouth kind of thing, talk to it, sweet nothings, and then feathers out of my palm, bird. So then, yep, my eyes will go all white, glaze over, and send it through.
All right. As the bird flies into it, it disappears into the reflection of the mirror, and I need you to roll a d4.
Oh
no.
Oh no.
1.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
Oh no.
I hope rolling low was good. Oh no.
Oh no.
Suddenly you appear in another room that's similar to the one you're in, but arranged a little differently. Same shattered bed, everything is kind of stripped away. A little bit more bare bones than the room you're in, but it looks like the same type of room.
Is the head there?
Did they pull it out before you sent the bird in?
No, we didn't.
No, it's still there.
The head is there, yes.
Interesting. It looks like I'm in another similar tower.
The only thing that's stopping you is the door ahead is closed and is not as broken as the other one, so the bird would have to find a way to slide through.
Yeah, it looks like a very similar other tower, possibly here. It's too similar to be somewhere else, I feel like. There's a door closed, so I can't see exactly where else.
Right. I mean, greater mysteries ahead, but let's say that that's like the astral plane or some other demi-plane or inverse nega-world. Maybe we could head east from here. Does that make sense? Like maybe the bypass of the collapse isn't collapsed on that side. Does that logic make sense? And that would be our way. Should we want to go to Eastfall, we could probably get there that way. I mean, I'm wildly hypothesizing because, I mean, this seems like a larger mystery, right? Unless we really want to jump dimensions and not know if we can get back. What do you think?
I think quantum leap is not how we should go about this.
What if we throw something through there and see if it goes to the same place that she sees?
Sure. I mean, I've always got a handful of ball bearings. So I'll toss like 2 ball bearings.
Sure. Roll a d4 for each one of those.
Okay.
I would contribute to this conversation, but she can't hear anything you're saying.
Okay. A pair of 2s. 2 2s.
A pair of 2s. They plop right back out at you.
Okay. Well, that didn't work. I'll tug on Taz's sleeve. Because you've said that like the bird's there, but there's a door.
There's
right?
a door.
So.
Yeah. So the bird's gonna go flying back through.
Okay, roll a d4.
3.
It pops out right about here. You see yourself in another similar room. The door is actually broken on this one, but the room is much more stripped than the other ones. Still a canopy bed. Looks like similar function, but your bird can go through the door.
Oh, looks like I'm in another tower. The door is not closed in this one.
Is it, but wait, is it oriented the same? Is it the same room or is it a different one of the other towers? No, she can't hear.
Going down a corridor.
Yeah, and it's starting to look familiar.
Oh.
You're seeing a similar hallway
Yeah, I'm
that
at
you guys have been at in the Rockfall.
the Rockfall. I'm at the Rockfall. So it's, let me see. And then the bird comes flying back through, lands on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Eyes come back. I think these just lead to different towers here.
How was the first place you went? how was the door oriented on the other side? The one you couldn't get through?
It was oriented, and I walk over to where the door is for us, and then I moved, which is southwest, and then I moved to the southeast. It was oriented over here.
Okay, well, so maybe you're right. Interesting. Well, perhaps we should check the other towers then. I tried, just so you know, I tried chucking some ball bearings through there and they didn't go through. So either it needs to be organic matter or who knows. But I think you're right. I think we should leave our friend poking through there just in case.
It seems to be a little bit more chaotic, so it might be that we don't have any control over the destination.
Fun.
And maybe the destination of the ball bearings just ended up being right back here.
Oh, that's, yeah, interesting.
Because this guy's head was in the other tower that I first went to. But when I went back through, I went to a different tower that was south of us.
Like head on the body or head on the floor?
Head on the floor, it's possibly attached to the body, but we can figure that out.
When we get there, if the head's there, then we should find it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to dip down this ladder real quick, just see if there's anything down there. And then we can sally forth.
Seems like a plan.
And Fetter, as you start to make your way down the ladder, the temperature starts to rise slightly and get a little bit more humid, and you start to smell more salty water. And when you get to the bottom, there's a half-size opening from where you are, and loose rock, almost sand-like, as you pop through, and you find a weird body, like a little pool, a steaming pool of water. Just
interesting. I'll do a little eye for detail there, just to see if there's anything that pops out. 19 on the die, so 25.
25? Oh, perfect. This looks like this reminds you of like a hot spring almost, because you can see in various parts little bits of bubble as water kind of pops up and heats up. And yeah, this seems pretty closed off, but the water that can access it
is warm.
Is warm and controlled almost. Like,
interesting.
Due to some ingenuity of rock. And you notice that the rocks around the side of the wall where you are a bit more carved, a bit more designed.
Oh. Private bathing area. Fun. All right, so I'll come back upstairs and be like, hey, if we move in, there's a hot tub down there. Just and I'll describe the hot springs to them. So yeah, we get rid of statue guy, put some nice beds in here. I don't know. Sounds good. Dibs if we end up picking rooms. And I'll be like, all right, everybody good here? Shall we see if we can go find Ed?
You're gonna share, right?
Yeah, of course. If you've never been naked in a hot tub with four of your closest friends, have you really lived life? He says as he just starts marching south.
That Fetter makes some sense, I tell you what.
Marching down.
Does he?
The tower I came from was down there. Yeah.
I want to check this when we get south to and up the stairs where the parapet is. I just want to walk easternly and just kind of see what the rock face looks like from here, like where the tower meets the rock face.
Yeah, from there it looks caved in a bit.
Okay.
So rock has fallen and covered over it, and enough of it has to where like it's just made that area inoperable. That little chunk.
Okay. Cool. Well, and what's the door sitch here?
This one was open.
Yeah, it was broken. There was you can see in it.
Okay.
So the bird was able to get out, but yeah, you pull the door and it's just like almost even comes off in your hand.
Oh, cool.
Like, oh shit.
All right. Well, that's fun. I'll come in. Trashed bedroom looks like. Hey, Taz, is this what you saw?
This is where I came. That last one. This was where it came from.
But was it exactly like this, or was it different?
No, this was where I came from.
No.
I
okay.
flew out of the door and went up the corridor.
Cool. Eye for detail to see any trapdoors in here. That is a perception. 21.
21. Nope. The room is picked clean. A lot more picked clean than the one you guys came from. There's only just the bed and some some crate, some wooden pieces. Much more stripped.
Okay. Again, I'll check the kind of the outside wall. I mean, I figure we walk the parapet, right? If we're headed, we know what the inside of everything looks like.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll walk the. I'm very curious what like out the main gates, like southward, looks like. Look at what we see looking
Yeah, as you go across the parapet, there's some rock in your way, but when you get to where the south exit or the south entrance would be, you do see a path that is still made of stone that was in the main nexus, and then after a while it just starts to descend and become more rock as it seems to go downward from there, and eventually it's just too far down and there's too much rock to be able to tell.
Right. What does like the greater like Underdark Uber cavern, like what does it do down here? Is it still 100 feet tall, or does it like taper into a southern like wall of the like I'm saying like if we're in the citadel, like on the parapet, there was like some sort of Underdark ceiling above us. How far up is it?
It's still a little ways. Like essentially there was a big space and they carved this fortress into it.
Okay.
So you can see darkness above you a ways, and for at least in the nexus you can see down into it, but the rest is all jagged rock that didn't bother cutting.
Okay.
That's above this whole thing.
Cool.
So you can't like see the courtyard from here, that sort of thing, but you can see the south way down as it slopes down.
Okay. Interesting. And I guess I'll continue to the southwest tower.
And this door is actually in good condition.
Okay. I'll check for traps. It's dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Weirdly enough, this door is trapped, but there's the mechanism, the result is gone. So if someone like broke the trap or forgot to fix it or finish it,
right,
like on toilets, if the little back thing is broken, it just kind of like dunk, 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 dunk.
It's just limp. Yeah,
it's limp. It's a limp trap.
Limp trap.
Yusuf shakes his head.
So I'll just hold my hand up and be like, looks like a trap, but it already went off. And I'll just like slowly creak the door open and just poke my head in.
Another of these rooms, complete with that same mirror in great condition, trashed bed. You're getting the pattern so far that these are 4 main quarters for 4 important people. Or any amount of important people. There's enough room to fit a bunch of people staying in one room. It's spacious.
Yeah. All right, I'll just eye for detail 24.
24. Nothing out of the ordinary.
No head.
No head.
All right.
Not in this. Not in this one. Under the bed, though, you do see sticking out. Looks like an old bound little book. And you page to it. It was a journal at one point, but there's enough time and decay that you can't make out words. But you could, if you took it to someone in restoration and archives somewhere out there, they might be able to piece together maybe some purpose of it. But it looks like someone, initial glance, it could have been a journal or something.
Okay.
But so much of it's damp and ruined.
Old journal needs some love and care. Taz, you like a book? Want to hold on to this?
That I do. Sure.
Cool. And I guess we walk the parapets again.
Guess there's only one more point.
And as you get to the central part between the 2 towers on this parapet, looking out to the west, you can look over. Well, you look over both the east and the west, because you can kind of see down where the vines were, and they're starting to wither and decay. And maybe given another few hours, you could probably break through with some good fire and sword action, axe action on it. But on the west side, you see a platform. The path itself extends out over nothingness, and it's a built platform. There's a seam there in the middle that reminds you very much of a lift of some kind. You even see a mechanism off to the north of it, to the right of it, that if you were to use it, it could either descend or ascend, but you don't see anything that would make it ascend. So naturally, it looks like a lift to go down.
Interesting. That seems like possibly the way forward if we're going towards our Titan friend. But let's just finish up this bit of business, and I'll go up to the tower, the Northy boy. And door locked, I'm guessing?
It's shut, yeah.
Yeah, this one is locked.
Okay. 23 to unlock it.
Yeah. It's no match for your lockpicking skills.
Cool.
And it comes apart easily. It's probably the door in the best condition out of all of them that you've encountered so far. And the lock is still good if you want to use it from inside.
Okay, great. So I'll step in, take a look, see what's going on. Is there a head? Do we find the head?
Yep, there's a head.
Oh, fantastic. And a 19 scan of the room.
19. Amongst the debris, you do see a small chest. In fact, underneath the bed, you kind of push it aside, and it looks like a chest that would hold a bottle of something, and it too is locked.
Right. Oh yeah.
But you can only assume that inside that would be a drink or a beverage of some kind, probably another wine, like If someone lived here, they lived here lavishly.
Okay.
And wanted to protect an old vintage.
Oh, okay. Well, let's open this thing up. Oh, natural 20. 27.
Oh, perfect. You sense that this lock was a little bit more difficult than ones you've encountered. And you sense the difficulty of it, too. And you're just like, whew, goddamn.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is an old vintage. 60 to 70 years, about.
Fantastic.
Looks in great condition.
I see how you clearly separated these to be for like each of us. Like this corner is for Lesa with the church and the training grounds, and then south is for Yusuf with the barracks and the forge, and then off to the east is for Fetter with the hearth and where to like make bean water, but then also the war table and the money. And then I'm the north with the ritual site and the library.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. There may have been some planning way early on in this.
Hey, sometimes you get a base.
But Fetter swooped in and stole my corner with that hot spring.
Oh no! Look, deals can be made. You know that with Fetter, deals can be made.
Hey, like I said, if you're willing to share.
With these mirrors intact, it's basically a key party, like nonstop, just randomly going one place or another.
Sure, why not? Right then, is there a label, John, on the bottle of wine? Because again, like language, country of origin, stuff like that.
No, it's actually pretty. It's just the bottle itself. You do see some spots where a label may have been torn off.
Okay.
But it looks mostly just a clear greenish bottle with a darker liquid in there.
Okay.
I do this as a habit with beer bottles and wine bottles. I'll start ripping at the label as a nervous tick, and eventually it'll just be like a little the glue part is left.
Sure.
That's essentially what we're looking at here.
Okay. Milady, now hand the fancy bottle of wine off to Tess to put in the bag of holding.
Slip. I go over to the head after he hands me the bottle. I go over to the head, kneel down, kind of like tug on it a little bit. Obviously, there's going to be some resistance.
Yeah.
So I think this person was possibly trying to somehow escape, but whatever turned them to stone hit them. They fell forward and are just now in these two places.
What's this head look like, John? Is it like, cause we've had a tiefling demon. Is
he face down or face up?
Face down.
That is the way to no. If we can, I'll like carefully roll them over and try to take a look at the facial features, because we had an illithid, a tiefling, and a walk into a bar.
Yeah, and some elvish-like creature.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, everybody dies. You notice a bit more resistance, leverage-wise, especially with the mirror at play, that it may take a few of you to work together for a roll to turn this thing around, from the head end at least. It'd be a little bit easier with leverage to get us on the body side.
Yeah, I just want to I don't need to turn him over that hard. I'll just go like nose to nose with him. If he's like nose to the floor, I just want to see like what are the ears like, what is the face shape like. I'm trying to figure out the makeup of this party.
He's unlike the tiefling, the elvish person, or the barbarian type that you saw.
Right.
In that there's nothing outstanding about the features, and he looks a little bit more generic. Maybe he's similar to what you guys saw in the courtyard. A little bit more of a basic troop or a basic support. He's more robed, so maybe he was more of a magic support.
Right.
But nothing that would stand out as particularly useful. He doesn't seem that spectacular compared to the others, which is, a little mean to say, but...
So, one of Mephistopheles' blackguard, a human barbarian, an elvish rogue, an Eladrin rogue, and some mad illithid scientist broke into here 60 years ago and kicked something off, we still don't know what, that turned them and their retinue all to stone. Very exciting.
Such a lively history.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Should we hack through this vine and find ourselves a Titan? And I look at Yusuf like...
I'm for that.
All right. Oh boy, gang. Fun times ahead. And I'll head back down through the cathedral courtyard into the dead vine.
Yeah, you'll make your way down there.
I kind of stick behind, but look around a little bit and just mumble to the air. Where is this foul tressum? We were so close, and you're still such a pain in my ass. And then I'll follow him down.
Yeah, once again, Sunny was just following behind as you were doing that and just kind of nodding, like, not even making a sound, just going with it. Like, this tiefling is talking to herself. Cool. Or talking to somebody. And then, yeah, you guys make it to the vine, and it's starting to brown and starting to get weaker. It's thick to where you would still need to do something to it. But you sense that versus when you arrived, that it's more likely that whatever you do to it, fire or weapon, will work wonders.
I start firebolting at it.
Okay.
And I'll start, I'll use insightful fighting to try to find good places to cut, to try to, peel big chunks of it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that works. The vines go the whole thickness through. The thickness of the parapet you guys saw from one end to the other, like, that's the whole thickness. And it takes about maybe an hour, I would say. And as you're doing it, as you're chopping away, cutting at it, there's still some liquid inside this ichor that kind of pops out, but it almost looks blood-like. There's a dark, reddish, greenish to it. If you think to the evil tree in Sleepy Hollow,
Sure.
that movie, the Tim Burton movie, as you chop away at it, it spurts, very blood-like spurts and blasts and
fun.
And yeah, you guys get rid of it, and yeah, you make your way through, and you reach this platform, and you see the mechanism is still in place. And from the looks of things, this thing seems pretty simple. It's a larger platform with a lift in the middle, and all you have to do is do the lever, and it goes a set destination.
Looking it over, how do the gears look, and do we feel like that it's a two-way situation? Like, we're not gonna...
Like, if we go down, we're stuck down there?
Yeah.
Right. Well, the way the mechanism is designed, and Fetter, if you want to do like a...
Investigation? Sure.
Yeah.
21.
The way the mechanism is designed, there's the lever, and next to it is pulleys and gears and stuff, and you can sense that there's two. That it loops over and goes down, so it does look to you like there would be a two-way. There would have to be something to receive it and bring the lift back up.
Okay. Well, it looks like we'll be able to get back up as long as this mechanism holds. Shall we? And I'll kind of, very concierge, hold my arm out for Sunny and Taz and everyone else.
I will climb on.
Oh, fun. I'm so excited to go on to another lift.
Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Thousands of dead body batteries. I think that's the worst.
And Yusuf slowly smiles.
That's not funny.
Going down? And I wink at Sunny when I say that.
She smirks.
And pull the lever.
Pull the lever! Wrong lever!
Pull the lever, wrong lever!
And you all fall. No. And with a chunk, it takes a minute to wake up. The gears haven't been used in a while. As you guys descend into the darkness, your thoughts are ahead to Titanfall.
Have I mentioned how not jealous I am of our hero's new place? I have? Oh, well then, okay. Well, look, chaotic teleporting mirrors is a real hoot. And I feel like when the big plot stuff is over, there will be one happy bullywug hopping to and fro down in the little Fallhold. Anyway, I should probably get rid of this fire breath before I burn the rest of you. Let's do this again soon, shall we? You give me some much cooler ale, and I'll tell you more stories from these Demon Days.
It was all the way down to the bottom of the gunpowder storage.
The whole...
Turns out your tower's a rocket.
Yeah. And we shoot to the moon. Cool.
We're going from under the mountain to on top of the mountain. Under to over.
All right. Hold on. I've got the bird token for Taslinn. I'm going to go grab it. Okay, that was too big of a bird. Sorry. Fuck!
That was a huge raven there.
The Raven Queen is very generous to you today. You've seen my face. I must give you a big bird.
I'm so annoyed. I was really excited about. I was like, oh yay, here's gonna be a straight up thing for the Raven Queen. Nope. Bullshit. Bullshit.